List Learning Center YouTube channel. My name is Taylor. I'm an academic coach here at the DLC, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you how to make a next level planner. Now, I use a passion planner, so all the examples I use were going to be based on that, but I want to say right here at the start that even if you don't use a passion planner, a lot of these tips will apply to you in any other planner that you use. If you don't even use a planner, you could easily make an Excel spreadsheet, input the times of day and the days of the week, write in the date, and you're good to go for a weekly planner. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Tip number 1, color coding. If you currently use a planner, this might be something that you already do, but I do think it's a pretty good basic level tip. Oftentimes, students will choose to color code based on either the type of activity or the class. For example, I might make every single one of my classes purple and then put my student org in blue, my job in green, etc., etc. Or I might make every single class a different color. Either way works for you. It's really just about what your preference is, but it's a really good tip when you're first starting out using a planner, especially one that has times in it, so that you can tell exactly where your time is going. You don't have to try to dissect and dig into your planner when you're just trying to see where you have to go next. So here's an example of what a weekly spread might look like in the Passion Planner. As you can see, I've done my classes all in a different color and added a key in the bottom right so that I know which color goes to which activity or class. If you want to make your planner next level, one thing that you can do is backlog your time. Oftentimes we'll plan out our weeks and things just do not go to plan. We spend more time doing homework or more time walking to and from class than we actually intended. Sometimes we get distracted and we planned on doing one thing and then we actually did 10 hours of something else. Those are all things that are good to track because it allows you to plan better for the week ahead. One thing that we recommend is that you will color in or write in what you actually did during your week so that you can see if there's a discrepancy between where your time is going and where you intended it to go. Taking time to reflect on where your time is going is a really key part of becoming a self-regulated learner. We'll encourage reflection a lot in this video, in other videos, and at the DLC as a whole because we think it's a really important part of growth as a student. For more information on time management, I highly recommend that you check out my fellow coach Allie's video on time management because she does an excellent job of talking about fixed commitment calendars and how to budget your time. On to tip number 2, making to-do lists. To-do lists can be really helpful because they ensure that you're not dropping just tiny assignments along the way and that you're picking up all the points that you can in a certain class. It's also really good for making sure that you don't get super behind on assignments, and especially if you tend to procrastinate, that's super important. As sort of a basic level tip, in the Passion Planner, there's a box at the top of each day called a daily focus. You can translate your weekly to-do lists into your daily focus box. Essentially what this does is tells you, before I go to bed tonight, this is the one thing that I absolutely have to get done. If I don't do anything else today, it must be this. That can be really helpful because it makes sure that you pick up points on big assignments. But if you want to make your planner next level, in your daily focus, describe what kind of day you want to have. For example, for a few months last semester, I would describe my days as productivity days, proactivity days, catch-up days, and personal days. This allowed me to figure out how much I would be getting done in each day. This was really helpful for me because some days I simply did not have time to do everything in my to-do list, but I was kind of beating myself up about it when I wouldn't get stuff done. But when I switched to doing this method, I was able to see that on my personal days or my catch-up days, I wasn't going to be doing as much and trying to get as much ticked off my to-do list, and therefore I didn't beat myself up about it as much, and I didn't feel like I was falling behind. The key here, though, is that you do a lot of work on the days that you deem productivity or proactivity days, because those are the days that you've designated a lot of time in the day to get a lot of work done. Another tiny bonus tip for this section of the video is to put your to-do list into your schedule. So essentially, if you're saying you're going to study from 2 to 5 p.m., put the assignments that you need to accomplish in that time into your planner in that window, and then check them off when you've actually accomplished them. It's pretty motivating to check things off a list, and it also makes it so that you've scheduled a time specifically to work on those assignments. After all, one of the best ways to beat procrastination is to make your assignments easy to do and hard to avoid. If you plan them into your day, that's one step in the right direction. Tip number 3, attitude of gratitude. In the Passion Planner, in the top left corner of a weekly spread, there's a spot where you can write good things that happened. We highly recommend that you do this because studies show that writing things that you're grateful for down throughout a week or a month is actually really good for maintaining a positive mindset. So the basic level tip here is to write good things down after they happen. But if you want to make your planner next level, put rewards on your calendar ahead of time so that you can look forward to them throughout the week. One of the best ways to find motivation to do a specific task is to give yourself a little bit of a reward at the end. So what we recommend doing is writing down rewards that you may have throughout the week. For example, I might have brunch with my friends on Saturday morning. The key here though is that I'm going to write this in pencil, or if in the case of writing on my iPad, I'm going to write it so that I make sure that I can erase it. And that's because if you do all of your tasks, you get the reward. But if you aren't able to complete all your tasks, then the time that you've dedicated to the reward is actually going to be used catching up on the tasks that you did not complete. Essentially, that's the consequence of pushing off your work. This is an important tool for overcoming procrastination. It's also a really good way to get yourself through the week when you're looking forward to something at the end, all the while knocking out all the assignments that you need to get done on weekdays. One of our former academic coaches, Hannah, made a really cool video on how to work happier and stress less. This tip ties really well into that video, so I'll go ahead and put it in a card up here. And then our fourth and final tip is to get a little introspective. Like I said before, one of the things that we highly encourage here at the DLC is taking a little bit of time to reflect on what you've done throughout the past week, month, etc. In the Passion Planner, they put a lot of questions at the end of each month that encourage you to reflect on where your time went in the past month, what you did, what you think you could do better, and what you want to do in the next month. Not every planner has this section, but you can take the time to ask yourself those questions. Even on a scratch piece of paper, take a second to figure out how you feel about where your time went. Do you think that you made the most of the time that you had? What do you think you could do better? What do you think went well? And finally, what are your goals for the next month? These are all things that Passion Planner encourages you to reflect on at the end of the month, but asking yourself similar questions, whether or not you use a Passion Planner, is also a really key step in becoming a self-regulated learner. Planning ahead is a really great way to create concrete steps towards your big goals. Go back even at the end of a day or a week and answer those questions for yourself. In the Passion Planner, on the weekly spread, there's a space of infinite possibility. This is a really cool place to take a few seconds to reflect on the things you did to reach your goals that week. It can also be really motivating. You can use this space to write out the connections between the small assignments that you have to get done and the big goals you want to achieve. Ultimately, the Passion Planner is a really great way to create systems of accountability for yourself, ensure that you actually are working toward your big, humongous personal goals, or even the little tiny ones, and of course, staying productive when you actually want to be. As a bonus tip, if you go back and track everything that you did, you end up with a really cool journal-esque book displaying all of your efforts to reach your goals. This can be really motivating in and of itself, but also getting creative with your time management is a really good way to relieve stress, find a little time for yourself, and ensure that you're making progress toward whatever goals you set out to achieve. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. This video is part of our Back to School Essentials series, so be sure to look out for other videos all about how to prepare for going back to school, and of course, like and subscribe for more from us. Don't forget that if you like these tips and you want more personalized help, to schedule an individual appointment at the link below or on the Dentist Learning Center website. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.